Hi everyone, welcome back to MVR Entertainment, where today we're going to be discussing Star Wars Return of the Jedi. Welcome back, Justin.
Good to be back, Caleb.
It's good to have you. Alright, well let's get started. So, beginning of Return of the Jedi, what are your thoughts?
Start off where I had a lot of questions, didn't understand what R2-D2 and 3PO were doing. Once it showed Jabba, it kind of just all opened up of what they were doing and kind of like they had a plan. Didn't expect Leia to be there.
Oh, Bikini Leia?
Well, that, but how she
Leia.
kind of snuck in when she was dressed up as, I guess, like a scavenger, released Han Solo and all that.
What do you think about Luke getting himself captured?
Kind of felt like he had like a plan B behind it all to get captured. I don't think he maybe expected the giant monster.
What do you think about like how serious he was when he was decked in black? And
I mean,
were you thinking like from the last movie? Do you think he kind of went towards like a more darker path? Or?
Just how Luke was, I kind of didn't really think that because he was there for them, but
he was a lot different.
It kind of was just like he was more intimidating, had more trust in himself and in the Force. So it just like he came in and he knew he would succeed. He kind of had that attitude.
What do you think about him having to kind of fight in that gladiator-esque pit against that giant monster?
And kind of acted like he didn't know what to do. Which, I mean, what would you do in that situation?
Right.
It was kind of funny when he did kill it though, and the guy comes in crying. Like his little baby.
They unfreeze Han, he's blind, he can't see anything, they're about to throw him into the Sarlacc pit. And then you have the classic, well, and Family Guy also makes fun of this also when they're doing their role.
Just a nod.
Yeah.
One little nod.
Everyone's nodding to each other. So, yeah, the rescue plan, what do you think?
Oh, it was very awesome. I mean, like, you didn't know what to expect. And thought it was awesome how he fell down, shot his back up, R2-D2 threw, or shot him, his lightsaber, and they just kind of went at it. Lando came out. Then everybody's freaking out on Jabba's vessel. So then it gets it where Leia can get him, strangle him. Which was, I think, a pretty good way to get him. Like, she kind of handled him. Boba Fett kind of pissed me off.
Why?
I expected a lot more.
He went out in a blaze of glory.
I just expected it to be like, even if they did, it would be like an epic fight. Like, he was going to be like the boss at the end of the level. Nope, just a little boop.
By a blind man, no.
Yes. Who didn't even know.
Yeah, he's going at someone else. He just happens to run into Boba Fett. Yes. So, they rescue Han, get him out of there. Tell me about what happens next.
Luke goes out and basically goes to finish his training with Yoda, which Yoda's he's dying, so he's
It's a sad
can't really train him, which really Yoda says you don't really have to be trained, or you've learned enough.
So, while Luke is still on Dagobah, Obi-Wan confides in him that Leia is his sister and he's another Skywalker, and then of course Luke goes to Endor before traveling off to turn himself in, but he tells Leia also that he's her brother.
Kind of saw it coming, in a sense, because at the end of The Empire Strikes Back, he's hanging from Cloud City, and he has a connection with her. It shows that he has a connection with her. You kind of seen something coming with that, because Darth and him have a connection. So with them having a connection, you kind of had to be some kind of something. And so I saw it coming. Still wondering about that kiss.
Oh, what do you think about the Ewoks?
Amazing. I do not understand
Well, understand what?
Just all around the design of the characters were amazing. I would say that at that time, that had to have been the best makeup and all that job because it was so realistic. I don't see how they did it. I mean, the eyes, I mean, everything about it was just absolutely perfect.
Right.
And I definitely liked the character, or I liked how they were. They were kind of like a little goofy little things, you know?
Yeah, they were goofy.
Yeah.
What did you think about when Luke turned himself over to the Emperor, pretty much?
He was trying to get Darth Vader to come over to his side instead of him doing so. And at the time, it didn't seem very smart how he did it. I understand that he really did not be
he
with them.
I mean, it was kind of like a suicide mission, really.
Which I understand he did not need to be on the mission with them because he would have compromised the mission because they had that connection. So he would know their every move. So it just didn't make sense. Like suicide missions.
As Darth Vader and Luke are fighting, Darth Vader is, they can read minds. So Darth Vader reads that Leia is his sister, and now he doesn't really care as much about killing Luke because he said, okay, it's not really working out that well with you. Maybe I can turn your sister. And that's when Luke gets hulks out. Well, I mean, you also have the Emperor in the background.
Like a little instigator.
Yeah.
And then he's just showing them everything that's going on, that it's all a trap. They knew that they were doing the rebellion. They thought the Death Star was not completed. Really, it's functional.
Right.
So they thought they're going into it like, oh, we got this, and then just all of a sudden Luke knows what's going on, and there's nothing he can do.
Right.
So it just adds a lot to it and to the battle with them.
So once Luke decides not to kill Darth Vader, Emperor steps in because Luke is no purpose to him now. So he starts, electrocuting. He's electrocuting Luke, and you can't see it, but you know that there's there's tension building up inside of Darth Vader.
Kind of just the camera.
If he should save his son, because his son refused to kill him, even though he knew, he didn't know what was going to happen. But while he's being killed, he's begging for his dad's help. And so there's that internal conflict that he's going through. And even though he's, suit, robot pretty much, you can feel that he's going through this stuff just from his movements.
Yeah, the shots, the movements, and a lot of...
What was your take on the emotion of that scene?
Oh, crazy. Didn't know what to expect. Darth Vader was so into the dark side that it seemed like he wasn't going to switch over, but then at that moment, when it's finally do or die,
right,
he either has to jump in or let his son die or betray the dark side for his son, or
betray the Empire.
Yes.
Not dark side. Dark side is always there, I guess. So when Darth Vader does decide to step in and kill Emperor Palpatine, you see he's also getting electrocuted, and then it ruins his breathing apparatus. So he knows he's about to die also. What would you take on that? What was your take on that?
Very sad. Because finally it's like all this time Luke's been fighting for him to show that side that he still sees the good in him. And he finally does. He overtakes his dark side.
Overcomes?
Overcomes. He overcomes his dark side. Finally all that. And it's basically like, we can be together, we can be father and son and do good though.
Right.
And it's just... he's dying, it's...
Oh yeah, I mean, and it's clear that he's dying, and Luke knows he's dying. I mean, as he's dragging him away, I mean, he's like, hey, somebody help. And maybe if Darth Vader hadn't choked so many people out, people would be more spry to help him out, but they didn't really want to do that. Everyone just kind of kept going. Everyone was being selfish. They were trying to save themselves. He wanted to take his mask off so he could see Luke for the first time in this new light that he has been taken away from him when he was young. So, what do you think about that? Because that to me was pretty sad.
Yeah, it added a lot of emotion to it. It's just all this time he never knew, and just it was like a split moment where all that Luke's been fighting for, and all the time that Darth Vader's been fighting. I mean, it just ends up where he's laying there, and his last moments he wants to be with his family and do kind of make up for everything that he hadn't done.
Okay, yeah. And the destruction of the new Death Star with, I believe it was Lando who was flying the Millennium Falcon that time.
Oh yeah.
Where was Han at?
He was on the planet.
Oh, that's right.
To cut off the what is it?
Force shield.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, big celebration. They won for now. What, as a whole, now that you've seen the entire old saga, what do you think about it? And can you see why it's such a... I mean, anywhere you go, look, I mean, Star Wars is a big thing. I mean, it's developed, it's a huge following. So can you see now kind of why, over time, it's developed that its own nerdy empire?
Oh yeah, and I mean, I really wouldn't. A lot of people look at it that way, and it's really not altogether. It's not like a nerdy thing. I mean, it's something everybody can watch. Just people do clarify it as nerdy.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, it's amazing. The whole saga.
Well, that's a wrap on that. Why don't you comment below, tell us what you think is going to happen in the new Star Wars movie, which we are going to talk about next week. Before the movie comes out, we're going to release a video of what we think is going to happen in the movie. And
kind of give our inside thoughts, what to expect.
Yeah.
Especially now that I know a lot more about
the whole series, sure.
Yes.
Well, bye.
See you later.
It feels like the first